Andy Lack, Bloomberg, has probably got more revenue streams, even than NPR. But more than that, it's got more activities, more platforms, more things going on. Give us the nutshell of Bloomberg today.
Yeah. Well, Bloomberg today aspires to have a big role in the future of journalism. And we have 2,300 reporters around the world in 145 different bureaus, gathering news and information.
Now, wait a minute. 2,300 reporters.
Yeah.
On staff? Paid money?
We pay them, yeah. We pay them. It's a novel approach to journalism, but we pay them.
All right. I mean, that's an amazing number. All right, go ahead.
And we pay for the real estate that all those offices around the globe are positioned in. The organization has primarily been focused up until recently on the professional audience that it serves, which are some 300,000 financial services, primarily individuals who subscribe to a terminal. Keep in mind, Bloomberg is a private company, just to touch ever so briefly on its business model. And so it uses this organization of journalists up until recently to serve its customers, who, as I say, are around the world and primarily are seeking financial information and some transparency that Bloomberg has been able to provide in its assorted efforts to accumulate data and analytics that provide that transparency.
So they get this terminal,
yeah,
and which I think most everyone has seen, and they pay on average or typically what for that for a month or a year?
Oh, a little bit.
Yes,
here.
I know, quite a little bit.
Let's just say I think the published figures are around, it's producing about $6+ billion in revenue. I think the New York Times has reported that recently.
Must be true then.
No, I'm asking you what the individual terminal.
The individual, it's a 2-year subscription. It costs roughly about $25,000 a year, something like that.
$25,000 a year.
So that audience of 300,000 customers is a very valuable audience. But that said, where I come into the storyline is that Bloomberg in the last year and a half has tried to expand its focus and is looking to move from not just a professional audience but a consumer audience and have a broader outreach to news and information, with its news and information to people all over the world, and provide that transparency in a broader context. So that's the effort. That's in multimedia we have some television assets, we've got some radio assets, we've got an internet piece, we've got mobile pieces. Those reporters at Bloomberg News help serve those various platforms, and within each of those platforms, we've got virtually another 800 to 1,000 people working on providing the information and covering the world in complementary fashion with the Bloomberg News reporters.
And lest you forget, you bought a magazine at fire sale prices recently called Business Week.
Yeah.
That is now Bloomberg.
I'm not so sure there's ever a fire sale for any magazines these days. They're interesting assets that are valued differently depending on the magazine itself. Bloomberg picked up Business Week, and yes, Business Week looked like it was slipping off the table and had been for sale for some time. But that said, the investment that Bloomberg will put into Business Week is significant because we want to keep those journalists, many of them who were at Business Week, working alongside of the reporters we've got at Bloomberg News, and begin to integrate Business Week as part of the portfolio of media assets that go into making Bloomberg a stronger media and technology company.
It is generally assumed and often reported that the organization, that Bloomberg really lives on the revenue from those terminals. That makes the money and the other things, and pays for the other things. Is that fair?
That is fair. But keep in mind the value that all those journalists provide and the value that the multimedia assets provide serve that terminal customer. And actually, Terry, I think you referenced this earlier. Many media companies have often had news organizations within larger businesses that effectively served the value of those businesses, though those particular units may not have been kicking off the cash that the rest of the business was. But the value that Bloomberg News and Bloomberg Multimedia provides those professional customers around the world is quite large.